Good morning, my name's Alison and I am going to show you what I eat in a day to lose weight using the starch solution vegan weight loss method. I'm going to start today with a bowl of porridge. Now, one of the key principles on the starch solution is that you have half a plate of starchy vegetables or starchy foods and then half a plate of non-starchy vegetables. I'm going to start by making oats. Now I'm going to turn my oats into carrot cake oats by using a chunk of grated courgettes and grated carrots. I'm going to top it with some raspberries and blueberries. I'm going to flavour it with some mixed spice and a little dot of orange extract. I get this one from Sainsbury's. We always add grated orange zest to carrot cake and it just goes so well with the carrots, so this orange really makes it taste like carrot cake in my opinion. Yeah, so gonna get stuck in. So you just want to cook your oats with the lid on, just until you get the consistency you like. Lid on is important because it cooks the vegetables better. Otherwise all liquid evaporates before the vegetables are cooked. And the lid just helps the vegetables release their juice, which helps the cooking process as well. So that's about the consistency I like. So I'm just going to plate it up. And yes, this is a serving dish, but by the time you've added grated carrot and grated courgette, you need a big bowl. And also I quite like to spread it out, otherwise it takes me 3 weeks to eat because it's too hot. You can have a bigger bowl, it cools down faster. So I've got my raspberries that are partially defrosted, which will also help it cool down faster. You can pop it in the microwave to defrost them if you like, but I don't like it when they get too juicy. And then I've got a few partially defrosted blueberries. Again, microwave, but I didn't need it. Oh, there's still one hiding in there. Now I'm going to include a controversial ingredient. Maple syrup. Now maple syrup, any sort of sugar, is not part of the starch solution. But I feel sometimes it's important to have a little exception if it helps you stay on plan the rest of the day. I know that if this is not sweet or doesn't feel slightly more indulgent, first of all I won't eat it, and then I'll feel like I'm being deprived, like I'm on a diet, and then all I can think about all day is eating cookies and chocolate and things I shouldn't have. Whereas if I just have a tablespoon of maple syrup, which is like 50 calories measured, all of a sudden I don't feel deprived, I feel like I'm having a little indulgence. And all of those feelings about cheating disappear. For the sake of 50 calories, it's worth doing. Now, this looks like a big bowl of food. Now, on the starch solution, you're not necessarily supposed to be counting calories, but because it's still quite a new, see 1 tablespoon, because it's still quite a new plan for me, I am counting calories just till I get the hang of it. And also to check my macros slightly. There isn't any protein included, not something that you would consider a protein food, and my initial concern was, well, am I getting enough protein? And actually, having tracked it for a few days, yes, I am getting enough protein. There's protein in all of these vegetables. Oats have loads of protein, vegetables have protein, potatoes have protein, rice has protein, so actually you do tend to get enough protein, and this breakfast is about 360 calories. The oats are about 150 calories, the milk is about 50 calories, the maple syrup is about 50 calories, about 75 calories on the fruit, and whatever the vegetables are. I think when I type it into my calorie tracker, it comes in at about 360, 370 calories, which for a giant bowl of food is not half bad, so I'm thrilled with that. Yum! Looking forward to eating that one now. So for lunch I'm going to make a recipe that I saw on a video from High Carb Hannah, and she uses frozen hash brown potatoes, which you can't get in this country. So what I'm going to do is I've got some Maris Piper potatoes from Asda, so I'm just going to grate a bunch of those up, and then I'm going to try and squeeze as much of the water out because it tends to make it really sticky and gloopy. Elsa's the dog is outside complaining. So I'm going to squeeze out as much of the moisture as I can, and then I'm going to chop a head of broccoli into it. I'm going to chop half an onion because I have half an onion. I'm actually going to slice some mushrooms into it as well, and I've made this vegan oil-free cheese sauce, which is basically potato, carrots, onion. We get me straight, there's some cashew nuts in there, loads of nutritional yeast, paprika, garlic powder, onion powder, some chilli. What else was in there? Oh, apple cider vinegar and lemon. I'll link the recipe in the description box below. But we had some yesterday on our burrito bowl, and it's actually really, really tasty. I wouldn't say it was cheese necessarily, but it's reminiscent enough of cheese. So anyway, I'm going to use my shredded potato, my broccoli, onion and mushroom, mix it all together, mix this and bang it in the oven. Really looking forward to it. So I've done about 4 medium-sized Maris Piper potatoes, and that's how much liquid's come off it. And I don't know if you can see, but it's got like, it's almost like cornflakes. The starch basically off the potatoes is all on the bottom. Whereas there's nothing wrong with starch in particular, but all this water will affect the wetness, juiciness, saltiness of the final dish, which we don't really want. Not all potatoes have such a high water content, but I know that these do, which is why I have removed said gross potato water. As I say, I'm not that bothered about the starch itself, it's the water that I'm particularly bothered about. Now, here I've got my shredded potato, mushroom, onion and head of broccoli. And to that I'm going to add my vegan cheese sauce. Let's see how well it pours when it's cold. You got to pour? There we go. See, it does look quite cheesy. We need quite a bit in this. We can get it out the jar, but I want to leave some in the jar to go on top, so I'm not going to use all of it. And then, that's probably not going to be the right one. Let's try that. We mix it in. Now, I'll be quite honest, if it was just me in my kitchen, I'd get my hands in. But because I'm filming, I'm going to try and be demure and actually use a utensil. This may well have been an error. There's a lot of bulk to this, so there's a strong possibility that I should perhaps admit use more cheese sauce, but there we go. Thing is, a lot of it is going to evaporate. A lot of the moisture in the mushrooms, in the broccoli, in everything is going to evaporate as it's cooked. Right, you know what? Forget being demure. The hands are going in. There you go, so much more effective. Hands are clean, by the way. I've just been washed. Hold on, buddy. I'm just making my lunch. I'll be there in a sec. There you go. Now, isn't that a much more successful mixing? It smells really good as well, actually. So now we put it in the baking dish. Make sure that there is a fairly even distribution of broccoli and potato. Mush it down, mush, mush, mush. There we go. And then I'm going to get my, put it in there nice and flat, there we go. Hold on, buddy, I'm still filming and cooking, just give me a sec. And then, just hold on, I'll put something else on in a second. We put a little bit more of this cheese sauce on top, because you know, who doesn't love a bit of extra cheese sauce? Yes, darling, what's the problem? What's the problem? Give me a second, buddy. Oh dear. I said give me a second. So we've got a bit of extra cheesy sauce on the top, because who doesn't like a bit of extra cheesiness? Slather that around. We'll also protect the top of the broccoli to make sure it doesn't singe too much, but I bet it will a bit, because you know, this is me. There we go. That looks lovely. So that goes in the oven. I'm going to put it on about 180 for maybe half an hour and then give it a little check and see what happens. Yeah, looking forward to that. Now with my potato bake, I'm going to make myself a side of vegetables, because half of my plate needs to be non-starchy vegetables. Now sometimes I'm all about the fresh fruit and vegetables, especially at the beginning of the week, because that's when I've been to the shop. However, it is getting towards the end of the week, so I am digging out the frozen vegetables. So I've got some frozen broccoli, frozen sliced carrots and some frozen green beans. Now, let's see, it depends how big the florets of broccoli are. I think these ones might be a little bit big actually. So we might leave the broccoli for today and go with carrots and green beans. Now I have this really cool little microwave steamer. I saw it recommended on one of Chelsea May's videos, but I bought the slightly smaller one because I don't know why. I've only got a small microwave. I was a bit worried about the big one actually fitting in, but this is a Sistema microwave. Sistema? I'm going to go with Sistema microwave steamer. And sometimes you just need the ease of a few frozen vegetables. So we've got a handful of carrots and some green beans. Now they will need to go in the microwave for 5 minutes maybe. All I need to do is add a glug, it's a scientific term there, very mathematical, a glug of water into the bottom, so if it's steaming requires hot water, and then you clip the lid on if you can get it to fit. There we go, and you must make sure that the top is vented so that any steam go out, otherwise it'll pop the box, which it wouldn't do if it was shut properly. So there we go, and that will go in the microwave for 5 minutes. Yay! Today's snack time, some strawberries from the garden and a tropical mochi ice cream, which was from Aldi, and there's only 70 calories, so a little bit of a treat there. So tonight's dinner is going to be a bit of a hit and miss affair. I've got some leftover lentil dal that I'm going to have for my tea and a little bit with some rice because it's packed full of vegetables. I've got loads of leftovers to eat. So what I thought I might do is I've got some spaghetti, we've got some basil hummus. Thought I'd make the spaghetti, put some basil hummus through it, and then reheat this burrito bowl mix that's got onions and sweet potato and peppers, corn, black beans and chickpeas in it, and courgette in it. I say courgette. Reheat that and serve that on little lettuce leaf wraps. And I've got some leftover guac and some leftover refried beans, and I've also got some frozen broccoli. So that should feed everyone for tonight.